Hey ladies and gentlemen, today I have a temperature controller that is the Omega cn7500. Now, it has a temperature probe, power in and power out, that's going to a little cartridge heater, which may draw 1/3 of an amp or so at 120 volts. What's that, like volts times amps? 1/3 of 120 is 40 watts or so. And then there's my PT100, has 100 ohms at around freezing point sensor. Well, how do you set this up to do a ramp and a soak? Well, let's look at our program. Hold that in for 3 seconds. Boom, it goes to your initializing menu. The input is a JPT, which if you look in their manual has something to do with a 100 ohm platinum resistor. Alright, what's next? Press that. That's the temperature units is degrees C. Great. The high limit is 400.0. Temperature low is -20.0. The kind of control we have is set to program, because we got a little program to control things. But what are our other options? We could have done nanu, whatever that is. We could have done on off. We could have done PID. But no, we want to do the program to have control. So after you have that value blinking, you want to press enter to lock it in there. Alright, now moving along. Pattern 0. Well, we could have had pattern 1 or so on. We'll just stick to pattern 0 for now. Press enter to lock it back into place. And what is pattern 0 now shows up. So set point 0, 0. So let me draw out these programs come in little blocks of 8. So let's just go back to the theory. Let's say we're at room temperature around 30 degrees centigrade. And looking out, that's at our target. You know, if you have a gun, you're looking at your target. Your target might be 40, let's say 40 degrees centigrade. And then we want it to say, how long does it take? How long do we want it to take to get there? So let's say 20 minutes. 20 minutes. So for this controller, we have the set point. That's going to be 40. And indeed, I have placed 40 in there already. 40.0. Alright, what's next? We'll look at what's next. We have time 00. And this is hours. And then that's 20 minutes. 20 minutes. And that is for pattern step 00. Alright, what comes after 00? Let's find out. We're going to go to 01. Alright, 01 has a set point of 50. Just, you know, we could change that. We could have put 51 just to, or 50.1 just to goof around. We'll press enter. So we have a set point of, for this would be 01. 50.1. and we're going to take 20 minutes to get there. So, going back to our theory, 20 minutes went by and our temperature ramped up from 30 to 40, and that's calculated by the controller how much power needed to do that. And that was our initial SP set point and times 40 and 20. Now our next goal is to go to 50.1, and we want to take 20 minutes to get there. Great. And so the SP01 is 50 and 20 minutes. So what do you think our zero What do you think our 02 set point? What do you think I'm going to choose for 02? Well, let's see what I chose. So let's look at it. We'll go to our index thing. Time 1 is 20 minutes. SP2, oh, look at that, 60 degrees. So we've chosen 60, and just to mess around, we're gonna make that into 59 degrees. And press enter. So set point 02 is 59 degrees. 59 degrees, and what kind of time do you think we should take? Well, let's go look. Time, let's 20, let's make it 22 minutes. Give it a little bit more time to get there. Press enter. So 22 minutes. I'm starting to get tired of this, so let's just see if we have a set point step 3, which is actually the 4th entry. Because, we had step 0. 70 degrees. Look at that. So we're going to go to 70. And how much time do we want to get there? 1 hour. That's going to be a slow crawl up. That's just to mess around. Let's make that 50 minutes. So we're going to drop that. 59, 58, 50 minutes, press enter. So 70 degrees, and we want 50 minutes to target. 50 minutes for the bullet to travel to the target, and that would be 03. Now these things go all the way down to 07. So a block of 8 set points and times. Alright, let's just zoom through those to see what we do. Set point 4 is 1. And in 0 time. Set point 5 is 0, 0, 6, 0, 0. So they haven't really been set. Time 7. Now here's the important thing. PSY Psycho 0 is 3, which means we're going to run our program 0, 1, 2, 3, and that will be the last executed stage. We could have changed that to 2, but let's just leave it at 3. Why not? Set it to 2. Psycho 2, enter. So now we're only going to be executing up to step 2. That's 3 set point targets. It's a very little mini program here. Alright, without further ado, let's continue on with these choices here. The next thing is cycle, and it's set to 0. Now cycle will be the number of times you want to go step 0, step 1, step 2, and then back to step 0, then step 2, 1 and 2. It's the number of cycles you would actually repeat your program. But we just want to do it once, so we leave it at 0. You'd think you might want to say a 1 there, huh? But then that actually would do it twice. It would repeat it one more time. What's after link? Alright, so within this little set of program, there's 8 steps, a group of 8 steps. Now that would be for pattern 0. Notice this 0 at the beginning. Well, there's also a pattern 1, which is a whole nother identical group of 8 steps along with those cycle, and link. So if you wanted a really long, complicated program, you can do your total of 8 steps, and you can link it to a second group of 8. But we're going to turn that off. And anyway, so this 0, the number of patterns is 0 to 7, and then within that pattern, there's 8 or 0 through 7 steps inside that pattern. Anyhow, let's continue on. Oh, we're back to pattern 0. Now look, we could have gone to pattern 1. Well, let's just see what's in pattern 1. I don't think there's anything in there, but let's go look. Oops, I kicked out. So press that for 3 seconds. Alright. Okay, we want to get back to our programming. Control program, okay. Pattern 1, let's see what's there. Set point 10. Notice it's now saying pattern 1, step 0. We have a 0 in there. Time is 0. Set point 11 is 0. Time 11 is 0. 2, 0, so on. It's not been set. Great. So what we want to do is get out of here and then go back and set it back to pattern 0. You want to set back to pattern 0. I don't know if this is necessary, but there. Set back to pattern 0. Now let's just press this a short press to jump back to our actual process value. That's what's being measured here. Actual process value. Now this is saying pattern 0, step 0, 0. I'm not sure what does that mean. Anywho, that's now the time to go to our second bunch of menu stuff. Let's see what happens if we do this. So we could look at the set point, which is 40. Okay, great. So we're now under the program control, and what are we doing? Are we running? Well, I'll get that to a second. But let's see what else we can do. We can press R, time. Oh, the time. Time remaining, actually. There's 20 minutes remaining. Or our time, set point, or PST, something to do with the pattern and the step. So we're at pattern 0, step 0. Okay, so that's so far so good. Now I want to jump to this button here. Is another circular menu items. Press it short one time. Now notice we have run stop, which is stop. Great. Let's just see what else is out there. Let's do this. We have pattern 0. Great. Now it looks like this to me means like if you're getting everything ready to actually run, this is going to be running pattern 0, which we could have changed to pattern 1. No, we'll leave it in pattern 0 for now. SP, that's the decimal point thing. There's 1 decimal point. So notice I was saying stuff like 59 decimal point 1. So if I had to put SP0, I would only have dealt with whole units. I got at least 1/10 of a degree right now. Well, let's see how high can that go. Well, it can't go any higher than 1, and it can go down to 0. So you either got whole units of degrees centigrade, or you can go to the 1/10 of a degree. Well, let's just choose that extra accuracy, even though our sensor is probably not even that accurate. Okay, continuing to the next choice, press this button. Lock off. Okay, the thing is not locked. Any child can get up here and press some buttons to do that. Lock off. Oh, now we're back to our 28 degrees current temperature, and let's just, without further ado, get this ball rolling. We're going to go to run. Let's see what other choices are. Oh, that's all for now. That's all our choices, run or stop. So we're going to do run and press enter, and boom. Let's see if, oh, look at that. I don't know if we had that come on before, but our output is now on. Great. Now let's just press enter to go back to reading our current process. That's the process. That's the actual beaker of liquid of water. Oh, it is heating up. Look at that. Without even without it even stirring at the heater there. Hope it's not getting too hot sticking out of the water there. It is sticking out of the water a little bit, which means time to add some water. Jingle-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-dinga. Alright, I'm kind of worried about getting... I probably already did it, but... I'm worried about getting the water in where the leads go into this heater. This cartridge heater is probably designed for me to drill a 1/4-inch hole in some aluminum and smear that with some conductive thermal paste and stick it back in the hole. But for now, it's just directly heating that water. I'm a little bit worried about this. Is it actually heating? Well, I guess it is. It's slowly climbing. And let's get some more detail on our what we can see going on here. Let's just see if we want to set it to the set point. Okay, great, set point. Let's look at the time going by. We know our set point is 40. Oh, we only have 19 minutes left to get to 40. Right now we're almost at 30. And our output just came back on. How long does it stay on? Yep, it's cycling on and off. Now this particular controller has within itself a small relay. You can hear it go click and click to pulse power over the course of like a minute cycle, I think it's set at. But in reality, I've got a little solid state relay in there, so this device here gets the strain taken off of it. It has a little 15 volt power supply, you know, the things to power a cell phone, or in the old days those wall warts. So it actually just turns on and off power to activate a solid state relay. And it's all stuffed in this little case here, and believe me, it's quite stuffed. It looks all neat on the outside, doesn't it? And it's even got a scrap mouse to hold this at an angle so it's easier to see. Right, 17 minutes left, and we're up to almost 31 degrees. 39. Oh, look at that, 31. Now this fella here, this controller has an auto tune function, and I don't know if I actually ran. So it won't on my dementia setting in here. Auto tune will not work if you are running a program. Instead, you have to switch it over to, the control would not be programming, it would be like plain old PID control, where you just set a set point and it shoots toward it, and that's it. So I probably should have ran a set point. I probably should have ran a tune. Now this is actually as basic, and you notice how the display is flickering in our little mismatch between my video camera and the pulsing LEDs there. It's actually got a lot of features for the guy wanting to control, me. I can control stuff. So believe it or not, we just did a ramp soak with just a few numbers. So that I'm going to call that a quits for today. There is, some other things to investigate is how to auto-tune it, how to set up some of the initialized settings, which we can run through. Actually, just while the program is running, we can press that for 3 seconds. We can set our input. We can set our units, high limit, low limit, program, pattern, and then what the pattern is. Yeah, we don't want to get into that. So I guess the point of interest would be, I may mess up my program here, but look at what our choices are for the kind of control we can do. We could have done nanu, I don't know what that is. On, off, that's like your typical refrigerator with the temperature sensor. You're either full on or full off. All right, so it's not going to try to, if you do PID and you have a set point, you shoot towards that set point, and it tries to gradually reduce power pulses as you get closer to the set point. Well, of course, on off is just you plow towards that set point, and then once you hit it, you shut the power to the heater off. Well, you're going to overshoot. You want to get all that heat into the system. Anyways, that's that. And then there's your PID. So during the PID control, that's where you can do your tuning. But we're just going to keep on skipping. We don't actually want to change it because you can see the program's still running. Look at the output came back on. So let's cut out of here and look at where our program's at. Oops, did I just mess up? I better get that changed back to program. Program, and press enter. I want to get out of here. So there we are. Oops, I did mess up my program. Look at it, got reset to 20 minutes. Now let's see if I'm running or not. Let's go back to run stop. Oh, it's run. Now let's just take a look at this. I'm going to see what my choices are now for, what I kind of do besides run it. I can stop it, run, or P stop. Look at that. Program stop. That's a new thingamajig. When you want to P stop it, or what else can we do? Look at that. We can P hold it. So we can stop the program. And what's the difference between stopping the unit entirely is it'll go back to some initial set point when you run stop at the P stop. And the P hold, something to do with it'll hold it at the latest set point on screen. But without further explanation, that you got to get a hold of it. So how do you get a manual for this? You get on your Google website and you type in your keywords Omega cn7500 controller manual. It's the one manual I was reading from the assets of Omega, which sounds like this may have gone out of business and what's left is the assets. Yeah, I imagine various ramp soak controllers out there in 2022 are probably very, user-friendly with graphs and a complicated display with lots of stuff going on. But the stuff from the old days is pretty satisfying. You can do it all with your thumb, press the button, and it gets the job done. Now, one more fancy feature of this, not only if you had what would be great, if you want to drive the temperature up, that's easy enough. But what if you want to drive the temperature down? Then I'd have to maybe add some kind of Peltier junction setup to make this setup get cooler. So simultaneously as it can control the heater, it can also control a cooler. And you can put in a dead band, the temperature range where nothing's turned on once you get to that set point dead band. And what else is there? Hysteresis. You can probably set the hysteresis. Yeah, but in the end, that's just a number you put in there, a number in the blocks. And I'm not giving you enough details, so you're definitely going to have to study that in the manual. But I guess this serves as an intro to your ramp soak controller. Just if I forgot to explain, when this is going to a higher or lower temperature, you're ramping up or ramping down. And then when you stay at that temperature, you're soaking. It's soaking at that temperature. So ramp soak controller. The best thing since curdled milk. Have a good day, gentlemen and ladies.